What's up, everybody? I'm back. So this is an adjustable box that we made, or we all made. I engineered it. This bolts right to an OBS truck, so 88 to 98. Got 4 adjustment points right there. 1 inch, so you can move the chassis up and down 1 inch. I was gonna do, I feel like 5 holes is more than you need. 3 holes is probably what you're gonna end up doing, right? Like you're gonna pick a middle spot and then be able to move up and down 1 inch. But so now you've got a 4 was kind of like, well, that gives me a, it makes it so you could be like, yeah, I can bias it high and then really make it low, or you could bias it low and really make it high. Whichever way you're kind of trying to set things up. So all TIG welded, you know, tab and keys on the back side. So that not only is this is welded into this side, it helps to locate it. And then, you know, we got this machined block on the inside, 5/8 18. The bolt goes right through there, threads right in. Grade 8, you know, all the nice stuff. So we made this for the 98 or the 88 to 98, and then I've also made it for the 99 to 13 trucks. Same configuration, same 4 bolts. This block is the same on the inside, and then I actually made a universal set not too long ago for somebody. So that's another option I was kind of looking at. Maybe I could just do this as a universal piece. So the only thing that really dictates what it's going to fit is the spring. So here is your rocker pivot assembly. This has the flush mount. Oh, got some washers falling off. This has the, you know, the flush mount set up there, so the bolts, the head of the bolt and the nuts don't stick out past it. Boom. Got the spacers in there, 3/4 by 3/4 rod end. This is the actual tab width for. This is an actual spring bushing for a for one of those trucks. I keep a couple sets of them in stock to make sure that this all fits. So this is a 2.5 inch wide spring, 2.5 inch wide bushing. I got the pin, the spacing on the inside of this guy, or the tab width on the inside of it's 3.5 inches. So I make these pins on the lathe, and then use those pins with a 20 thou spacer to weld this all together. And then after I've got it all welded together, I take the very pins that I welded it together with, and then touch them off on the lathe to make sure that they actually fit and slide inside of here, because there's just a lot of deformation from welding. So the very pins that are used to manufacture these things are also the same pins that come in the assembly. So I trial fit every one of these ones to make sure that this stuff actually fits, because there's a lot of tolerances and a lot of stuff going on. So if we get way too much in there, it'll clank around a whole bunch and make a bunch of racket. And we're trying to make performance here. We're not trying to just make it work, right? So then you're going to have these spacers. So what's kind of trick about this whole thing is that since this is 3.5 inches and this is a 2.5 inch bushing with a 1/4 inch of rocker pivot on either side, that's 3 inches. It gives you 1/2 inch on either side of these things. So you've got to have this many washers on either side to be able to stack this up, right? So let's just go ahead and put this together. So my point with the washers is the fact that technically I could put all my washers on one side and I could bias this whole assembly inside of the box and move it a 1/4 inch. It would be a 1/4 inch on center, so it would give you a 1/2 inch offset. Maybe you need to do that, maybe you don't need to do that. I'm just saying that that is in fact a possibility. So slide this together, and so like I said, I make sure that this all fits ahead of time, because I don't want you to struggle with it, and also putting this all together could be totally a pain in the butt. So there's that. Bolt through there. Voila, you got your whole assembly, right? And then if you look at it from the side, that whole deal fits together right there. Get a left and a right. Here's the other one, all set up and dialed in too. So yeah, let's this is for the OBS truck. I'm planning on doing I'm going to do the S10 as well, because I have an S10 truck here. I figured might as well just add to the parts list. And then since I make all this other flush mount stuff and I have all this stuff dialed in, it's just like making applications to make it fly. So I'm going to grab this camera. Let's flip it around. Let's do a little bit of going through it here. I'm just freestyling this, by the way. I don't practice. I just grab the camera and just do it. Yeah, because the pins are 1 inch 3/16 wall. They're super thick, but I end up having to ream them. So I set the size on the lathe for those too, because a grade 8 bolt doesn't just fit right through it like it's supposed to. Even though the math says that it should, it doesn't just fit right through. This is 1020 cold rolled mild steel, machined on the mill. The holes are tapped, and so we drill and tap them on the mill, and then bolt this whole assembly down to the fab table, with bolts running in from 2 of them running in from the back, and then 2 of them running in from the outside. Set this tab width, set that, and then after they're all welded, we run the tap back through them, so you can actually see the threads are really nice. So I mean, it takes a little bit of effort to thread this giant bolt through all of this crap, but you can see like pretty much. I'm not even taking a video. There we go. It's not too bad. So you can see there's minimum. That's not even tight yet, and that's got minimum clearance for all that stuff. So I was kind of mentioning that. So this is a 2.5-inch spring. There's 2 3/4-inch wide bushings out there. The spring will still measure 2.5, but this bushing right here will measure 2 3/4. So in fact, I'll set you down for a minute. You can see this width difference on this bushing. Will not fit in there, right? So this bushing that's in the front of your spring eyelet does all the magic. This is going to set all this spacing, all these widths, all these pieces. The spring could be 1.5 inches wide, and as long as this bushing was the right width, then all this stuff will still work. So the spring width itself is irrelevant because all of this is being set off of this bushing. So you're going to find that most of the time it's a 2.5-inch or a 2.75-inch, and then you're either going to have a Berlin style, which is like all these trucks are like this, or it'll be the standard style. So I've made it either way. I can set it up either way. And so like I said, I made a universal type of deal where it doesn't have bolt holes in it. It's just a box like this, and it just goes on the side of a frame rail. So I should probably do a video of that too. But anyway, this video would be titled specifically for the OBS truck. And yeah, here we go. This is all dialed in. Thanks for watching, and until next time.